Cody caught it. Rhodes middle of the ring. Crossroads. Cody's not done yet. Cody with another crossroads. Is he going to do it? Can he do it? Is this the Rhodes moment? Come on, Cody. Crossroads. Cover. Finished the story.
Here is your winner and the new undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes!
Samantha Irvin understandably overcome with emotion.
We all are. We all are. For the first time ever, a Rhodes can call himself WWE Champion.
Oh, he did it. He fucking did it, everybody. Cody Rhodes, after 2 long years, has finished the damn story. And literally just like less than 10 minutes ago, my roommate Dylan gave me the shirt that they got me for WrestleMania. I'll show you here. It is Cody's shirt with Pharaoh right here, and then the iconic logo, Claim Your Kingdom. He sure as hell did on Sunday. Holy shit, that video still gets me emotional. And so it's just me today by myself. No guests with me. Everyone's busy with schoolwork and stuff. But Matt and Troy, I'll try to get them on again, at least one of them, so they can talk about their WrestleMania experience and how everything went. Spoiler, they were cold, all 3 of them. They were absolutely freezing because they only went to night 1. But I know they still had a hell of a time and a hell of a trip. But this entire episode is going to be dedicated to this. It's going to be entirely dedicated to going over WrestleMania. I'm going to try to not make the episode too long. I don't want it to be an hour and a half like the predictions were, but we want to take our time specifically for the big time matches to review. And I'm basically just going to review and go over the matches and my 2 cents on everything here. But before we get started on that, on this day in wrestling history, today is April 9th. And in 2019, this was the SmackDown after WrestleMania. The Hardy Boys beat the Usos for the tag titles on the SmackDown after WrestleMania. So that's a little bit of on this day history for you. And I definitely want to do that for future episodes as well, because it's pretty cool to see on a certain day heading back what happened. I remember when that happened, and it shocked the hell out of me because that was right after Mania 35, I think. I didn't think the Hardys were going to win the SmackDown tag titles right away, but they did. So that was a hell of a moment. But enough of that. Let's get into WrestleMania 40 itself. Let's go, baby.
Welcome to WrestleMania, the podcast. I'm Dylan Shields. We talk Raw, SmackDown, wrestling news, and some fun top lists. With that being said, ring the bell.
Alrighty, and as always, you can check out the WrestleMan Podcast official Instagram or go to my website at WrestleManPodcast.blog to check out everything there as well. So let's get into the opening match of Night 1, which was Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World title. And I think this was a tremendous way to open the show. I thought Jimmy versus Jay was, as you see in my predictions video. And we'll talk about it later, but thank God it kind of didn't open the show. But Rhea Becky, just a tremendous match. Rhea with her special entrance to her band. I forgot what the name of the band that performs her song is, but they performed her rendition, and it was incredible. And then Becky, I loved her gear of parts of her new book or her new biography that came out. That was pretty sick as well. And yeah, just a great way to open Mania in general. The crowd seemed into it. Very pro Rhea crowd, which didn't surprise me. People love Becky, but I mean, people love Mommy. I mean, you can't go wrong with her. Yeah, just tremendous back and forth stuff. There was a cool spot where I think Rhea had her on her shoulders. They both tumbled out the ring, but Rhea still held on to her and gave her a backdrop, which was pretty sick. And yeah, just overall good back and forth stuff. But then Rhea ended up hitting the Riptide off the turnbuckle and another one to retain. I think absolutely 100% the right move there. Becky does not need the title. Like we mentioned earlier, I think her contract's up in May. I bet she'll re-sign, but I know she's hinted rumors of retirement. I think she might be taking a little bit of an absence, which is definitely well-deserved. Becky's earned that, especially with the child that she's taking care of, her daughter. And yeah, just a tremendous way to open it. The crowd was really into it. And yeah, to me, the right person won. And I'm expecting bigger and better things for Rhea as champion. So happy they kept her reign of dominance. Second match was the crazy as hell ladder match for the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. And when I saw that the Raw and SmackDown belts were kind of hung separately from each other, I knew. I'm like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to get two new champions. They're definitely splitting the belts up. And it was smart that they did that. Just crazy chaos. But it was good chaos where it wasn't clunky. It was pretty smooth. Just really good spots in general. The New Day, Kofi, and Xavier Woods had Rocky attires, which I really loved. That was pretty sick. Just cool spots in general. I mean, R-Truth is just a national treasure. Him getting the hot tag was just absolutely incredible. A Theory, Grayson Waller ended up grabbing the SmackDown belts, which caught me off guard. And of course, Matt and his freaking predictions got it right, and I didn't. I thought it'd be the New Catch Republic getting it for SmackDown, but it kind of came out of nowhere because the match only was going 10 minutes in, and then they just immediately grabbed the titles. It was okay, they're the new champs. Not much of a long celebration because Waller ended up getting powerbombed by New Catch Republic through the ladder. No celebration for them, which is just hilarious. But yeah, it's hard for me to explain. Definitely, if you could go back and watch this, because it was just so much carnage throughout the ring. There was a funny moment where Awesome Truth and DIY were exchanging oh yeah, we'll just grab titles. We'll just grab one title, and you guys grab the others, and the crowd popped for that. Ultimately, I kind of predicted it would come down to Priest and R-Truth, because Priest was dominating, but then R-Truth, Damian Priest over the top rope. He took a while to get up the ladder, which made me think something was going to happen. Someone was going to come in, but ultimately, R-Truth finally, after all these years in his freaking 50s, gets his WrestleMania moment with Awesome Truth winning the Raw tag titles. Matt and them said they were going absolutely nuts for Truth, rightfully so. Just long overdue for R-Truth to get a WrestleMania moment. And I'm impressed with the Miz's babyface work. The people definitely want to cheer for him too, but this is definitely Truth's big WrestleMania moment. Definitely the right call to split the belts. I'm very excited to see what both teams can do with the championships. And yeah, I'm just happy they're split because there's many tag teams across both brands. And spoiler, we have a WWE draft later this month. So the potential there is just awesome, but they needed to be split 100% there. Just a hell of a match. Up next, I don't think I have the graphic for it here. No, I don't think so. But it was, I believe it was Ray and Andrade who replaced Dragon Lee at the as freaking last minute as you can get. He replaced them versus Dominic and Santos Escobar here. I mean, it wasn't too long of a match, but it was a fun match. I love when everyone started getting involved. I'm not good with the names of like who the LWO is, but they were like helping them out, and one of them like hurled the other and did an amazing dive onto Legado del Fantasma. So that was fun. I love the Ray Dominic exchanges. Like they just have very good chemistry for father and son. And yeah, just gotta love Dominic's heel work and just how much he's grown over even since last WrestleMania. He's just improved very well. I know I predicted Santos and Dominic, but the moment I saw that Andrade replaced Dragon Lee, I kind of regretted that. I kind of realized, like, yeah, it's probably not. They're probably not winning this one, unfortunately. And at the end, two huge dudes in Eagles masks. I knew immediately who they pretty much were. Came in to help Dominic or save Ray from Dominic using a weapon, and then Ray double 619 and got the win. And it was Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. I know Kelsey. I don't know if Johnson's a big wrestling fan. I know Jason's a decent fan, and since they were in Philly, I knew it was them. They got a pretty big pop, and seeing Jason take his shirt off and just go nuts is just amazing. It's just so weird though to do like local celebrities at WrestleMania because not everybody is from Philadelphia. I mean, they still got a pop, but I love that WWE just doesn't know, like, hey, not everyone lives in Philadelphia or likes the Eagles or even watches the NFL. There's people that live in, like, England or parts of Europe that don't care. So it was still a fun moment nonetheless, but it's just weird when they always try to get people like that involved every year. So, yeah, just very, very odd. The next match, and this one, man, I hate to dump on this match. I hate to do it, but I mean, sorry, I'm just trying to get the graphic up here, but Jay versus Jimmy. I said this, and I've said this for a while. This match needed a stipulation, and it showed. It sure as hell showed because let's see if I can get the graphic up. But yeah, Jay versus Jimmy, and out of all the weekend, this was the most disappointing. It didn't get much time. I think it was like 10, 11 minutes, and it was nothing but a super kick fest. And my reaction is, yeah, no shit it is. They have the same moveset. This is why they should have made it a street fight or a different type of stipulation so you could at least add violence to it. It just made no sense to me that a blood feud like this can't involve weapons. It's nothing but super kicks, just a lot of pausing and slow, dramatic, like bloodline emotion storytelling. But the crowd wasn't into it. The crowd around this time after the second match or third match, they were starting to get a little bit tired, and I definitely think they were starting to get a little bit cold. And I'll keep talking about the crowd as we're on and on, but yeah, they just weren't invested in this that much. And then Jimmy, like, apologizing to Jay, like, saying, don't hit me. All the crowd knew it was BS, but somehow Jay falls for it, and Jimmy super kicks him, frog splash. Jay kicks out, and then Jay does the spear, frog splash in the win. It sucks. It's not going to hurt either one of them, especially Jay because he's still over. But they definitely need to not end this feud yet. They definitely need to extend this to at least SummerSlam and get some stipulations. A lot of people were saying maybe an I Quit match would be a pretty cool idea. I think that'd be pretty sick to see Jay, Jimmy in an I Quit. Just any type of stipulation, because this just doesn't work. When you got two guys that have the same moveset, it's going to bore people. And yeah, they just weren't into this. And I think out of the entire weekend, there wasn't any stinkers. I don't even think this was much of a stinker, but it was definitely considering the hype that it had and how hyped people, including me, were for this match, it was 100% the most disappointing match on WrestleMania weekend. It's a damn shame. But not everything's going to stick and be perfect. The next match was the 6-woman tag between Bianca, Naomi, and Jade versus Damage Control. And it served its purpose. I mean, it certainly got the crowd up a little bit again. The crowd loved Jade. They popped for her hard. She was barely in the match. Like in the final, like 80% of the match, she was not in it. So basically, Damage Control were beating both Bianca and Naomi down. But then Jade got the hot tag, and if you've ever seen a hot tag where she just gets all her stuff in and then no one counters it, well, Jade's tag, yep, she basically just ran through the entire Damage Control and ended up getting the win for them. Fairly predictable. I like the three together. They had a pretty good press conference afterwards, too. They got good chemistry together. I bet we're going to tease a Bianca-Jade feud soon in the future, and I'd sure as hell love to see that. But, just a good tag match. I mean, served its purpose. Didn't feel that big besides Jade, but yeah, I think it was all right. But let's get to what I thought was amazing, and I argue, quality-wise, out of all the weekend, this could have been the best match. It's close, but I think this is definitely at least top 2 best quality matches of the weekend. It was Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title, and I had good expectations for this, even though I was on the camp of being disappointed in Chad Gable not being in this. Obviously, Gable gave him a little pep talk before the match, and then I loved the moment with him backstage with Owens getting Sami fired up. That got me pumped up too, and the crowd loves Sami Zayn. I appreciate that even though it sucks that Gable wasn't in this match, that they didn't turn on Sami. They still loved him. He was over. And, yeah, this was just a physical match, which we knew it was. Gunther beat the hell out of Sami with the chops. He powerbombed him so many times. Everything just looked crisp and absolutely freaking brutal. And, yeah, Gunther was just dominating. Sami got a few shots in, but Gunther was just, for the most part, dominating. But Sami's wife was in the front row, and Gunther kept taunting her for the majority of the match. And Sami just kept being resilient. He kept hitting power bombs, but Sami kept kicking out or getting fired up for it, and it fired the crowd up. And Gunther ended up being on the top rope, taunting her again, but the Sami caught him with the haluva kick. And then, holy shit, probably the most amazing move all weekend. We haven't seen Sami do this move at all in WWE. He hits a freaking brain buster to Gunther, and Michael Cole just goes ballistics, as so did I. No one saw that coming. But I guess WrestleMania, you bring out all the crazy spots, because that was just absolutely amazing. And then Sami ended up hitting 2 haluva kicks, and he dethroned Gunther, ending it at an amazing 666-day reign. An awesome number there for Gunther to end it on. Shocked the hell out of me. I know it shocked the hell out of Matt, Troy, and Dylan when it happened. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I didn't think Sami would be the one to dethrone him. I said I didn't think Sami necessarily needed to. But then I heard a lot of people say this. Even though I didn't want it at the time, when I saw the moment of it happening, I was like, you know what? I think it was the right move. It was a pretty cool decision and a cool moment. I mean, considering how far from grace Sami's kind of fell after last year's WrestleMania, with him and Owens having an underwhelming reign and Sami still being over, but just not where he was last year, I guess in a way it kind of was needed for Sami to dethrone Gunther. I guess it was because yeah, Sami's character kind of needed this underdog type victory, and just it was just freaking incredible. And I love that brainbuster needed to be used to dethrone Gunther. That protects Gunther in a way where it's he needed to literally get hell beaten out of him just to win this match, just for Sami to win. So, yeah, just a great moment overall. Sami celebrating with his wife. And round of applause and thank you to Gunther for an incredible Intercontinental title reign. You should be immediately in the world title scene. I am pitching it now. I mean, we'll talk about this stuff in the future, but I've mentioned a Drew McIntyre versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title at Bash at Berlin, or even CM Punk versus Gunther for the world title at Bash at Berlin. Gunther in some type of world title match at Bash at the Berlin is freaking money. I think that's just obvious to do that. So, yeah, just an incredible way to end Gunther's reign. Like I said, one of the best, if not the best match on the weekend. And then the main event of night one, the anticipated Cody and Seth versus Roman and The Rock. And I appreciated that Cody, Seth, and Roman just came out to normal entrances because night two was when they were going to get the special entrances. So I appreciate that they didn't, overexpose or, didn't do it till night two. But The Rock obviously got his special entrance with the Brahma Bull and the flames around it, and the camera shot of him just slowly entering was so cool with the Versace and the pants and the belt that Muhammad Ali's wife gave to Rock at the Hall of Fame. Just an amazing entrance, and my good friend and Troy recorded it, and it just looked incredible in person as it did in camera, just to see The Rock live. And yeah, just incredible stuff. This is when I'm going to get into the crowd stuff for a bit. And no disrespect to Matt, Troy, or Dylan. It's not their fault that the crowd kind of seemed quiet. But for context, for night one, because obviously Saturday was a busy day, my grandmother's funeral and everything, I was running around, we were hosting stuff at our house, going out to restaurants. So I was kind of watching night one, on my flip phone, just running back and forth, until finally I was kind of in a cranky, not in the best mood, just because it was a long day and I was tired, and I finally got to watch the main event. And I was getting pissed at the crowd because this is a huge match, and they were kind of quiet for a few moments of the match, and just the night one in general. For the entrances, Cody's, it didn't sound that loud. None of the entrances, they didn't pop that much. And I was just what the hell's going on here? This is a huge match. But I understand now, with now me tonight in a better mood and me giving an objective opinion, it was freezing. They kept WWE showing a temperature thing. I think it might have dropped to the low 40s, maybe even 30s with the wind chill. I know it was windy as hell night one, and my friends Matt, Troy, and Dylan were saying they were shivering by the time that main event hit it. By the time that came around, it was absolutely freezing. So it's pretty hard to get fired up when you're just sitting there cold as ice. So can't blame the crowd there. But yeah, it was a little disappointing that, especially in this match, it took a while for the crowd to get into it. There were clunky moments at times in this main event, and I could tell they were maybe trying to lighten up a little bit because 3 of the competitors had matches on the next night. But I will say this, The Rock impressed the hell out of me. Other than a referee pull spot that The Rock kind of botched, he looked damn good in that ring, man. And he didn't injure himself. Against Cena at 29, he really injured his ribs, I think, really bad. So the fact that Rock managed to stay healthy and look that damn good in the ring, he sold the hell out of everybody's moves. Obviously, his Final Boss character work is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, I think it was still a good match. Not a great match, but I think it was a good main event. And I like that this main event, they've never done this yet. It kind of correlates into night two. They haven't done that yet. They've usually just had 2 separate main events, 2 different stories. But this one kind of correlates and ties into the night 2 main event, which I appreciate. If this was a night 2 main event, this would be extremely disappointing in my opinion. But the fact that it's a night 1 main event and it tied into night 2, I think it was a good main event. And there was just chaos all around. Cody hitting the rock bottom on Rock. The crowd booed Cody for a little bit of the match, which kind of worried me. When The Rock went for the people's elbow, Cody reversed with the Cody cutter, which was a cool moment. There were some boos from the crowd, but it's the fucking Rock. People are going to cheer for The Rock no matter what type of character the guy is. Sorry. So, yeah. The big moment that finally got the crowd going was Roman accidentally spearing The Rock. And The Rock selling was just so good. I know that's going to become a meme for years to come. The Rock is just so good with his mouth and jaw wide open and him just holding, just going like, ah! He said Rock's is such a good seller. But that was a cool moment, and then the double pedigree near fall was awesome. But then again, the crowd kind of died down after that spot. Yeah, and I also felt like, too, they knew the outcome, even though my dumbass got it wrong. I don't know why I picked Cody and Seth, but I did. I think they kind of knew what was coming, and at the end, Cody tries to hit 3 crossroads on The Rock, and then The Rock just whips the hell out of Cody. That sounded freaking brutal. Roman spears him, then tags in The Rock, rock bottom to Cody, and then I love this shot of The Rock, like doing this, doing like the throat slashing, and then holding the one right after, and then he looks at Mama Rhodes and says, "This is for you, Mama Rhodes," and then hits the people's elbow to win the match. I'm never a fan of the people's elbow where winning a match because it's a fucking elbow, but gotta take it with a grain of salt. It's The Rock. It's kind of like the Hogan leg drop. It's just how it is. And yeah, I will say I predicted not who was going to pin who, but like who it came down to, because Matt and Troy were thinking Seth was going to get pinned, and I was like, if that happens, no way in hell they're going to have Seth lose, like get pinned twice in a row. So yeah, Rock pinning Cody, I think, was the right move, and it sets up a future Cody versus Rock match, because on the Raw after WrestleMania, they kind of tease that. SummerSlam may be in the future. Hopefully, maybe I could see that match in person. But nonetheless, good main event despite the quiet crowd. But let's get into night 2, starting with Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre with CM Punk on commentary. And I did not expect this to be first, but boy, I'm sure as hell happy it did. Both got amazing custom entrances. I noticed there was a lot more custom entrances on night 2 than there was on night 1. I think the only custom entrances that I remember was like, I think maybe Bianca, Jade, and Naomi had some type of special entrance, and then The Rock obviously with his. But that's about it. Night 2 really had all the entrances. Like, Seth looked like, his outfit looked like a freaking athletic version of Michael Hayes with the feather and the hat and everything. That was just a wild, exotic entrance. And then Drew obviously had an amazing entrance coming out to the bagpipes and everything. Sucks Broken Dreams didn't come back, but like, hey, Drew still got a good theme. And this match, I appreciated that it was like a finisher fest. I know people don't like it when a bunch of finishers are used, but storyline-wise, it makes sense. Think about it. The tag match last Saturday night was 45 minutes. Seth, like, Rock and Roman targeted the knee of Seth, and he's not 100% heading in the match. Why wouldn't a Claymore be hit in the first 5 seconds and Drew immediately going after Seth? It didn't need to be a 30-minute classic for Drew and Seth. It just needed to be quick, back and forth finishers, trying to finish one off just because of what Seth had to deal with. That near fall in the first Claymore was so freaking good. I that kind of got me thinking Drew was just going to win like that. But just back and forth, both of them exchanging finishers. In the middle of the match, this was freaking awesome. Drew grabs his phone from his wife, and apparently he actually tweeted during that moment, like, bored at work, which is so damn good. And Drew's just such a savage. Drew kept looking at Punk throughout the entire match, and Punk saying, you need to focus on Seth. But like I said, a finisher fest, a lot of kickouts. I think Drew kicked out of like 2 stomps. Seth, I think, kicked out of 4 fucking Claymores, which, yeah, way to protect that move, guys. But it's WrestleMania, to be fair. The end, Drew finally hits a 5th Claymore. Seth says, kill me, finish me off, and he does. And Drew finally gets his WrestleMania moment in front of fans, winning the World Heavyweight Championship, celebrating with his wife, or does he? Because then Drew goes to Punk commentary, does the suck it chant twice, and then Punk leg sweeped him and just was attacking Drew. He took the cast off his arm, which makes me think, like, is he cleared already, or is he close to cleared? Like, that's quicker than I thought if Punk's, like, pretty close to being able to wrestle again. But he beat up Drew, and in that moment, night 2, I ended up watching with Matt, Troy, and one of Troy's friends in person back at Pittsburgh. And we had a feeling once Punk did that, especially Matt, because I will give Matt props. He called this. None of us thought this was going to happen. But Matt was right, because Damian came out, sprints into the ring, hit Drew with the briefcase, just says, I'm cashing in right now, hits a South of Heaven chokeslam, and wins the world title. Holy shit. What a way to kick off Mania. That crowd went nuts. And I know I kind of crapped on Priest a little bit in my predictions vid, saying his character maybe wasn't main event worthy exactly. I mean, I may still think that, but I love the way the story was told to get to Priest cashing in and winning the title. I wouldn't have liked it as much if Seth retained and then Drew cashed in, but the fact that they still at least gave Drew, even if it was 5 fucking minutes, at least they gave him a moment to celebrate with his wife and a pop to have winning the title at WrestleMania in front of fans before the Punk stuff. And good for Priest, man. I mean, he's worked his ass off. I think he's wrestled for about, 20 years, I think. Yeah, so overdue moment for him, because I know Priest is one of Triple H's guys. So, yeah, I think even though I was against it at first, just like the Sami thing, I ended up loving it just because of the story that was told of Priest winning. And I love, too, that hopefully maybe the Judgment Day doesn't break up, because I don't exactly want them to. They're a really talented and entertaining stable. I really don't want them to go anywhere. And hopefully that cements it. And my theory, and I think Matt kind of called this, is Drew ultimately is going to get his moment at Clash at the Castle, whether it's against Priest or Punk or maybe Jay, because now he's number one contender. Maybe he wins, or maybe just against Damian, maybe a multi-man match. Drew's going to get the definitive moment in front of fans. And Clash at the Castle is in Scotland. This is actually Drew's home country. He's going to get a huge pop even if he's a heel. So just bravo work all around, WWE, for that incredible moment. Up next is the 6-man tag Philly Street fight between the Pride and the Final Testament, with Bully Ray or Bubba Ray Dudley as the special guest ref. That was a pretty cool pop. And Snoop Dogg on commentary was freaking gold, too. I recommend listening to his commentary. He mentioned, like, picnic tables when they were setting up tables and stuff. It was just amazing. Sorry. This match kind of exceeded my expectations in terms of entertainment. Out of all the matches on the weekend, this was the match I could care the freaking least about. And yet, they delivered. Like, they did well. It was just chaos all around. Kendo sticks, tables, and everything. Montez's dive over the corner is just... I don't know how Montez does that. Like, I don't know how this guy hasn't gotten a singles push yet, because the shit he can do, especially that dive, is just freaking amazing. At the end, Karrion argued with Bubba Ray. He puts on the Dudley Boy glasses. I thought Devon was coming out for a second, but I love that he was, like, giving everyone direction of what to do. They did the "What's up?" and then they got a table, tried to put Karrion on it, and it fucking collapses. And we were laughing our asses off. Matt especially was dying. It was a so bad it's good moment, a Botchamania moment. It was so good. They set up the other table. Montez does the splash and they win. Like I said, much more entertaining than I expected it to be. I mean, it it was better than, like I said, it was better than Jimmy J, because at least it wasn't freaking boring. So I'll give them props there for actually delivering a match that I didn't think was going to be that entertaining, but it ended up being entertaining. Up next, L.A. Knight, versus AJ Styles. And Styles has a new theme. It sounds a little bit generic, but I know there are rumors of it, and it makes sense considering his new character. And it was a solid match. It was definitely maybe one of the more forgettable matches of the weekend. You're not going to go back and remember this match. But it's good for LA Knight to get his first true spotlight at WrestleMania. And Styles always delivers and puts on good matches. This wasn't a classic, but it was good, solid wrestling, just back and forth, finisher counters from Styles and LA Knight. And unlike Jimmy, I feel like this delivered and the crowd was more into this one. And LA Knight ended up winning the match with the BFT. Before the match, he came out to he was with a Slim Jim car and everything. He is just the face of Slim Jim, and you gotta love it. But a good match. Definitely the right winner. There was no reason for Styles to win. But good for LA Knight. But like I said, it's not something you're gonna truly remember for a long time. It was just a good match, and that's really all you need. Up next is the triple threat for the U.S. title: Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. They all had cool entrances. Logan Paul came out to a tank and then a huge Prime Energy thing. Everyone was thinking that he was going to shoot out he was going to shoot out Prime at all the fans and make them drink it or something. That would have been hilarious, but it was just a pyro thing. And then Owens coming out to a golf, a drive, sort of like a golf cart type thing. And then Orton came out, KO backs up, and then it's come on, Orton, come join me. And then they went in the cart. Sorry, I can't talk right now, but that was pretty cool. And it's shaved a few minutes off of Orton's entrance, which I appreciate, because Orton's entrances always take 5 years. But it was just a solid match. Another really great match. One of my favorite moments of the match is when Logan reversed, because KO and Orton were double teaming him for a bit, and then he shoved Owens into Orton, and then Logan Paul's you two fight each other now. I'm done with this. You two fight. And they didn't fall for it. They just ended up still beating them up. And then KO and Orton, which I low-key have loved as a duo and wouldn't mind seeing them win the tag titles, honestly. But they were just we got to fight now? All right. And then they just start punching each other, which was just so funny. Just cool spots all around, everything. Logan Paul just continues to just impress the hell out of me each and every time. Gets amazing heat from the crowd. The crowd was interestingly kind of cheering for Owens a little more than Orton, which I kind of appreciate. It was pretty cool. But just back and forth all around. The big moment of the match, Logan Paul hit the brass knucks on Orton, and he kicked out, which was a pretty cool moment. Orton ended up coming back, hitting an RKO, gets up. He has the knucks, but gives it to the ref. And then he goes for the punt kick, which was pretty exciting because we haven't seen that, I think, since COVID. But then someone pulls him out of the ring. And I've never heard of this guy. And here's the thing. Last year they did the same moment, and it was KSI. And I knew who KSI was, and the crowd knew, so they had a pop. It was, I forgot what the full name of the streamer is. It's something Speed. Ended up being the guy in that Prime bottle. The crowd really didn't know who he was, but then he started barking at Orton, which was hilarious. And then Orton just kicked him, and he took an amazing bump. And then Orton sets him up on the table. And another moment where we were just laughing. Orton just goes, RKOs into the table. Oh my God, we were dying. At the end, Orton hits, and Owens goes for a pop-up powerbomb, an amazing counter into an RKO, one of Orton's best I've seen. Logan Paul ends up throwing Orton out the ring, frog splash, an amazing frog splash for the win to retain. I think the right call here. Orton and KO do not need the U.S. title. Logan can hold it for a few more months. Hopefully at SummerSlam in Cleveland, he'll he'll hold it till then, and he'll get a big match. Hopefully, maybe against LA Knight, because I still think he could be the perfect guy to dethrone Logan Paul. But happy for him that the reign continues and just an entertaining match in general. Up next, Bayley versus Io Sky for the women's title. Io Sky got a pretty cool customized entrance, and so did Bayley. We were saying for Bayley's entrance, it was kind of like Triple H's at WrestleMania 30. We were saying that, what a baby face to come out in like a royalty type way. But nonetheless, and this match exceeded my expectations a lot. I've mentioned before how I wasn't the biggest fan of Io as champ just because she hasn't done much as champion. She's barely defended the damn title that much. But they put on a clinic here. For being in not the best spot because everyone's just looking forward to Roman Cody, for being second to last, the crowd was into it. And I will say this, Night 2's crowd, 10 times better than Night 1. I think the temperature was a lot better, which helped, but they were more invested in the matches and the stories. They reacted 10 times better than Night 2. And also the lighting, too, because for Night 1, they kind of blacked out everything except like the front, pretty much the front rows, and the fans didn't like that. So I'm happy WWE fixed that, and they showed more of the fans on Night 2. So yeah, just overall, Night 2 had the better fans. Sorry, Matt, Troy, and Dylan, but it's true. So yeah, just an entertaining match all throughout. I love that Bayley went for her knee finisher. I forgot what it was called, but then Io just kicks up. That was amazing. Io looked amazing in that ring. So did Bayley as well. Good near falls. Bayley kicking out of Io Sky's moonsault. Bayley ended up hitting the elbow in her finisher to win, and just the crowd went nuts for Bayley winning, which I'm just good for Bayley. Like I said, long overdue for her to win the title, and good for Io Sky to get a big match at WrestleMania like this, but the right outcome. I'm excited for Bayley as champion, but I'm also hoping for bigger and better things for Io as well. I would definitely like to see her champion again, but good for Bayley to win the belt. But obviously, what we got to talk about, what do you want to talk about? We got to talk about this freaking movie of a main event. I'm not even going to call it a match. I'm going to call it a movie, or what everyone's calling cinema. Because it sure as shit was. Roman versus Cody for the undisputed title. Loved both entrances. I think the two best entrances of the weekend go to those two. Cody kind of coming out to like kind of like a Triple H like entrance. He kind of had a Triple H like mask. And then his wife, Brandy Rhodes, came out, got a huge pop. And this shot gave me freaking chills. Like, after he takes it off, hands it to Brandy, zooms in on Cody, and he's just determined, and he's growling. Like, that shot could kind of be cheesy sometimes, but at the moment, it gave me fucking chills and got me hyped for the match. And I'm so happy that Cody got cheered. Like I said, I was getting a little worried when he was getting booed, and not much of a reaction against The Rock, but they were much more invested in this match and popping for Cody. Roman coming out to like a whole orchestra symphony and drums. And we were thinking, like, is he going to come out to this? I thought he usually comes out just to his theme. But then at first I'm kind of like, why is he coming out to this? But then, like, when I kept hearing it, that symphony, that Philadelphia City Symphony, was so fucking good. Truly felt like a final boss, Roman Reigns. And I forgot to mention this, Roman was freaking jacked. I mean, since his last match at the Rumble, like, this is the best shape I saw Roman Reigns in since the pandemic. Like, he had a six-pack, like, he had veins on top of veins. He looked damn good. He probably wanted to look his best for Cody and for that match, and I appreciate Roman doing that. There were a few moments where I could tell that Roman was emotional. I could tell he was almost tearing up during his entrance, and that's when you could kind of tell that this might be it. And I wasn't crying, but I was getting emotional too, being like, this could be truly it for Roman for his reign, and if it is, I appreciate the hell out of it. It's a legendary reign, but the match itself, I don't know if it was going to live up to last year's, because last year's is one of my personal favorites, and I just loved last year's match. This match, damn near, it might have definitely topped it. And I appreciate, even though it was Bloodline rules, they let Cody and Roman have like 10 to 15 minutes to themselves. I appreciate that. They just have such good chemistry, man. And the crowd was into every freaking thing that they did. It was just absolutely incredible. Roman and Cody exchanging back and forth. One moment, Roman hits a crossroads. Cody kicks out, and Roman's just like, "That move sucks. No one's gonna win with that move," which I just loved right there. And then Cody giving Roman a taste of his own medicine with the spear was also pretty cool. But you know what we gotta talk about? We gotta talk about all the hoopla and bullshit that happened throughout this match. But it was a good version of bullshit. Sometimes when the Bloodline gets involved in stuff, we don't like it. It kind of gets repetitive. But this is an example of how to do it right. First Jimmy tried to help out Roman, but then Jay came out and helped him, and then Jay speared Jimmy, and I was kind of scared for a second because I didn't see the table at first. So when that happened, I was getting scared, but luckily there was like a padded table there and everything. I love the cool moment there afterwards where Cody rolls him up, Roman kicks out, Roman hits a spear, and everyone, including me, are scared to death Roman's going to retain, but Cody kicks out. Cody tries to hit 3 crossroads again, but Solo gets involved and spikes Cody, and I love how, like, the story of, like, Cody, he hits 1 crossroads, then Jimmy gets involved. He hits 2 crossroads, tries to hit the 3rd, but Solo gets involved. Like, he's trying to hit the 3 crossroads so badly, but he just can't do it. And Cody kicks out of a spike and spear combo, which is just amazing. And these final few moments, from when Cena came out till the end, I think are some of the best few minutes in WWE history. The best produced and just amazing stuff WWE has ever done the moment Cena came out. Because Cena did come out to get revenge on Solo for last year Crown Jewel, beat him up, and then The Rock comes out, and we were just going nuts. Like, we just couldn't handle it. Like, the true end game moment we knew was upon us. The Rock is just such a savage, man. He's like, The Rock, during his entrance, like, The Rock makes the fucking calls around here. And then Rock and Cena had thrice in a lifetime, the 3rd time face-to-face. Rock ends up rock bottoming Cena, and then again, Rock a savage. After he rock bottoms and says, "Get the fuck out of this ring!" And then The Rock grabs Cody's weight belt. And this was a weird moment, but then once I understood the context, it was awesome. The Shield music hits, and I hope this isn't just me thinking this. I thought for a brief moment, I'm like, freaking Jon Moxley's here? Seth and Moxley gonna help out? I was like, there's no way, right? And then, yeah, we were too ridiculous to say that. It was so funny. Seth, the camera angle was weird because it cut to just Roman coming in and then just immediately hitting Seth with a Superman punch. Poor Seth can't even, like, get a shot in. But the storytelling they had of, like, no matter Seth lost his title, he's beat to hell, but he still wants to help Cody. He wants to take down the Bloodline. Like, Seth was a key contributor to this WrestleMania, man, despite all his losses that he had. So I appreciate Seth. And, like, Seth deserves the time off. He sure as hell does. But then The Rock's about to hit Cody. And a lot of us, including me, were expecting Stone Cold to come out. But instead, we cut the freaking gong, and the crowd went apeshit. The freaking Undertaker came out, chokeslammed The Rock, and then left. And just what a WrestleMania moment. Even in retirement, Undertaker makes WrestleMania moments happen. And I saw a lot of criticism of, like, why couldn't they get Stone Cold? Why wasn't it him? Should have been him. And yes, I wanted him too. But the people that are going to nitpick like that and be like, oh, I saw a lot of tweets that said, oh, it was a wet fart that Undertaker came out. It should have been Stone Cold. It took the match out of me. Like, fuck off. Like, Stone Cold probably couldn't go or didn't want to do it. And Stone Cold could do what he wants. He doesn't have to do it just because we as fans want it to happen, okay? And I think, arguably, this might have been better because, one, it's WrestleMania, which is The Undertaker solidifies it. The Undertaker is WrestleMania. And I saw a few comments of, like, because The Rock is the final boss, right? Well, Undertaker is the true final boss, especially at WrestleMania. I think The Miz said this. Like, he's the locker room leader. Like, he keeps everybody in check and everything. And, yeah, it just made sense for it to be The Undertaker. He got revenge on Roman for WrestleMania 33. He has history with Paul Heyman. And we've seen Undertaker and Rock before, but we've never seen it at WrestleMania. So we've seen Stone Cold and Rock at WrestleMania, obviously, 3 times. We've never seen this. So this was a cool, like, first-time moment to see Taker and Rock face-to-face. And they were saying, too, how Taker is like a WrestleMania ghost. Like, the ghost still, like, lays upon WrestleMania. Like, he'll still linger in the shadows to, like, appear when something's not right. Like, that was a pretty cool comment, too. So, yeah, I argued that this moment was even better, especially for the fact that we did not expect it. But it came down to Roman and Cody, but then Seth was in the ring. And this was, again, some of the best fucking storytelling this company has ever done. Because Seth is in one corner and Seth's in the other. And Roman's looking back and forth. And he should finish off Cody. He has him dead to rights. But Seth's wearing the Shield gear. He has the same hair. And Roman, he can't let it go. He can't let go of the past. And he hits Seth with the chair, just like in the past. Payback for 10 years ago. Just amazing storytelling. But at the end, it ended up costing him. Because he went for the spear, but Cody reversed and hit 3 crossroads to win the match, finish the story, win the title. What a moment. What a pop. Freaking credible. A lot of people jump to conclusion like this is the best WrestleMania main event of all time. I'm not going to say that yet. Too much of a recency bias. It was not even 2 days ago that we saw this. But I will say, like I said again, the match itself and the final few moments of the endgame moment were some of the best moments in WWE history and some of the best produced stuff WWE has ever done. I will say that. And it's one of the best feel-good endings, if not the best feel-good ending in WrestleMania and just in WWE history in general. Everyone celebrates. A lot of good guy faces come to the ring to celebrate with Cody, including Orton, his mentor. The moment that got me is when his family got in the ring and then he held the title to his mom and his Mama Rhodes got emotional. I didn't cry, but my friends were crying and I was just emotional throughout the whole thing. It was so good. It was amazing. And then Cody called out Bruce Pritchard and Triple H to come with him. A lot of people, again, bitching, nitpicking about this moment, like breaking kayfabe and all that stuff. Yes, did they boil down, because they said this a lot, that this is the Triple H era. Yes, they might have said it a lot, but I appreciate that Triple H came out and hugged Cody and raised it. That is symbolism that we are in a new era, and Cody is the perfect guy to represent in that new era. I think I love that they let the moment happen. I love that we got to watch for 5 to 10 minutes of just Cody celebrating, just feel good, the emotions. He even hugged Michael Cole and had an emotional moment. I mean, who was else? Punk, Sami, KO, LA Knight, Cena. Every babyface is in there to congratulate Cody. But definitely one of the best main events of all time. I think it's probably my favorite wrestling moment I've ever watched. Even if it was inevitable that it was going to happen, still just absolutely incredible. And it definitely ups the show by a lot. Like I said, considering how dead the Night 1 crowd seemed, I'm so happy the Night 2 crowd brought it and gave Cody that deserved pop. I want to thank Roman Reigns for an incredible, I think it was 1,300 or 416 days as champion. it's going to be tough to top that reign. I don't know if we're going to see a reign like that for a long, long time. So Roman, if we wouldn't be in this Triple H era and this new era, in my opinion, if it wasn't for him. And I appreciate that championship reigns are longer. So even that we know that we wanted it to end, I appreciate Roman's reign, and it was a legendary reign. So thank you, Roman Reigns. They chanted "Thank you, Roman Reigns" at Raw, which was very sweet. But yeah, just an amazing, amazing culmination. Yeah, this felt like a season finale or an end of a movie of Cody winning the title, and just a great story, great 2-year story all around of Cody wanting to come back for his dad. Lost last year, but gets his redemption this year. Just incredible. And I'm expecting, and I'm thinking we're going to get great things out of this Cody Championship reign. I don't think it's going to be a typical babyface reign where the fans turn on him. I don't think that's happening. I think Triple H knows what he's doing, and he's going to book Cody as champion right. So happy Cody got to finish the story. All right. That was a mixture of emotions right there, man. But we're 55 minutes into this, so I got to end this. So I might want to do an extended review. Stay tuned. I might be doing one with Matt, because I know I definitely want to go over stuff with him. Maybe join Troy. Maybe get Dylan involved too. Do an extended WrestleMania review. But I just wanted to get my 2 cents in by myself. But I appreciate you guys, as always, for watching me every Tuesdays. I'm not, just because WrestleMania is over doesn't mean I'm stopping. I'm still doing this every week, and I truly appreciate it. And like Michael Cole said, we love wrestling, and I for damn sure love it. And WrestleMania 40 is just proof of that. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys.